is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Tyrell Terry, a hot prospect coming out of Stanford, I believe. An interesting guy that a lot of people I can definitely see taking a gamble on and a chance. A lot of mock drafts have him going all over the place, but he is a guy that people feel like will get drafted, even if it's early second round or even in the lottery or even in the late first round. But he's an interesting project just because he's the epitome of what I feel a lot of players in this draft are. A lot of these players are skill set players, which means they have a defined ability. And that ability is what opens up their game, and it can also limit their game depending on how much of that skill has developed. Now, Tyrell Terry is an interesting prospect just because he can shoot, and this is an era where three-point shooting is very key and very important to the success of your role in the league and how long you can last in the league, especially as a guard. And Tyrell Terry checks that box off in his college game. He was able to knock down threes as a catch and shoot guy. He's a guy that also is a little underrated in transition, really knows how to attack, really knows angles to get the ability to get a chance to get the first step, to get that layup off clean. He can also relocate a lot at the three-point line, and he can knock those shots down. He can come off screens and knock down threes. I think the dribble handoff will be the next thing for him, having a big that can create space for him to get a clean look at the basket and be able to put it in. His handle, it leaves a little bit more to be desired. Most guys are like that in college just because the team doesn't really need them to do much. But in the NBA, you want to keep evolving and growing your game so that way you can have that longevity, or you want to be the best at your game and maximize your skill and be able to do it in multiple ways so that way you can be used in different type of schemes and system, but you also have a bigger role on the team depending on how you master your skill. And with Tyrell Terry being the shooter, having those small little increments in his game can really be the difference between him getting 15 minutes to 25 minutes and being a starter to being a seventh or eighth man on the bench, because there are a lot of veterans that had the longevity in the league just because they can hit threes in the corner and they can catch and shoot. And some guys have even transformed their game to just be that. We had the Reggie Bullocks and the Langston Galloways where they just became marksmen, and that allowed them to stay in the league for a longer time. And Tyrell, he's not the greatest player. He's not the best ball handler. He's not the best shot creator at this point of his career. I'm not saying that he can't be it. I'm not saying that he can't develop it. But what I'm saying is he should continue to work on his game and continue to work on his shooting so that way he can have the best role that he can have in the NBA and be a more impact player and have a brighter and longer term career. But I look at Tyrell Terry as a guy in this draft that's going to be fighting the Nico Mannion's and the Josh Greens and other guys through that 15 and below range for a spot on the NBA roster and for a chance to be a guy that can be an impact player in this league. But he's just as good as those guys in certain instances, and in certain instances they have shown a little bit more. So that way teams might want to go with them just because they are a little taller, or they shown a little bit more passing ability, or they shown that they can do more off the ball or on the dribble. And Tyrell Terry falls in that category where we know he can shoot, we know he can get space, and we know he can make some contested top shots from here and there. But he also showed the abilities to sometimes get to that rim. Like I said, he showed some ability to be able to knock down a dribble pull-up jumper from time to time. And those little small things that he can polish up and even add to his game to be more consistent can really be a difference of him getting 8 points, 5 points a game to getting 10 to 12 points a game easily. Just because his three-point shooting is good, he can find other ways to manipulate the defense or even make them pick their poison, and he can have other options or alternatives how to put the ball in the basket. And a lot of people don't like the fact that he picks up the ball and, surrenders his position, and they want him to dribble and be able to find an open man, or they want him to be able to create a little bit more, or they want him to be able to reset and find another spot on the court, which he does, and try to find a way to get open or find a way to have the spacing so you can have your teammates be able to operate in their isolation or whatever they add on the court, and not be in the way and not kind of the defense or the offense. So I like what Tyrell Terry brings to the table. He's going to be an interesting rookie in the fact that we don't know where he's going to go. And we really don't know how teams feel about him as a prospect, or at least I don't really see much people talking about it, and I don't really hear too many people high on him. But that doesn't mean that they're not either. It just they might see other people that they have as a priority. And as you continue to go down this draft, you have a lot of guys that are skilled players, and they can fill out your bench, or they can be another addition to your team, and you just bring them along slowly, or you just give them that 10 to 15 minutes on your bench, and you know what they bring to the table already, and it's just about fitting them in the offense and allowing them to grow and develop into what they're going to be. So it's going to be very interesting up on a player like Tyrell Terry, who um, isn't the highest prospect, isn't the greatest athlete, but also is very great at what he does and can bring a lot of chaos sometimes when he gets hot, but also a guy that can expand his game and expand his role and could potentially be a starting caliber player depending on the team. Now, with his playmaking ability, I think that is interesting. He can make the simple pass. He can sometimes, coming off screens, can drop it off, can dump it off, can probe just a little bit right now and create more offense for his teammates, or even use his shooting ability to use that as a decoy, or use that as a way to keep the defense honest and paying attention to him, and that can open up opportunities for his teammates. I think he can get even better at this in his career, as once his jump shots start going and teams start knowing that he's legitimate. If he perfects his jumper and really puts a lot of work in it on the NBA level, that can open up a lot of angles and lanes for him to get the floaters, to get the finishes, but also catch a lot of his defenders off guard and open up opportunities for lobs and open threes from the corner, but also some mid-range pull-ups for some of the guards that would be open or come off. You sometimes you get the ball or somebody moves and they ended up getting in the mid-range, or they ended up stepping back to the three, or the bro man gets to the basket because you're causing chaos and they're trying to make sure you don't get to the basket. Guys got to rotate, guys got to switch to cover for their teammates getting beat, and that can really make him a tougher cover, because now I got to make sure he don't shoot. But now that he didn't shoot, now he turned that down and turned that into another opportunity for himself, or opportunity for his teammates. So that's something that he's got to continue to work on, but he has that in his game. But it's going to be different because people are going to want to see if he can knock down the NBA level 3 first before they start changing how they scout and defend him. So he has to earn respect in the league. He has to be a consistent shooter, and he has to be able to accept the role, because I don't look at him as a starter right now as a prospect, but he can be one in the future, and depending on what team he gets drafted to. But when you do look at the teams that can pick him up, a lot of those teams already have an established starting lineup, and a lot of them already have an established star at the guard position and the range that he potentially can go to. But that doesn't mean that his career is just going to be a role player, but it could be a role that he can accept and have that longevity, but also find ways to extend and expand his game to where he can be a journeyman or even a long time guy in the league, just because his shooting will give a lot of problems, especially if you have the right type of personnel around him that can allow him to really flourish in that role. So I think it's going to be interesting seeing where he goes and seeing how teams feel about him coming into the draft, since there will be most likely no combine and stuff like that. He is what he is. He done what he has done, and we just have to judge him off what he is right now and what he possibly can be. But his ceiling isn't the highest. I don't see superstar. I don't see all-star, but I do see a quality NBA player at best. And that's something that you don't mind picking up, later in the first round or even getting in the second round, because at least you know what he is, you know what he brings to the table, and you know for sure he can shoot that basketball. And then it's just about making sure he can be consistent, making sure he can knock them down in different type of ways. Like I said, dribble handoffs, catch and shoot off the screen, and also being able to put it down. And then, like I said, he is a guy that can get out in transition, find angles, and find ways to finish. But he also can knock down the three and space out the court, even in transition, as he can run to the 3-point line. And that allows to suck guys in or leave him open. And that's a way that he can get a lot of his food and eat at the NBA level. But other than that, interesting prospect. I don't really have teams that he can go to, because I do feel like he can be a nice piece on a good contract coming in as a rookie. And I think a lot of people will love to take a shooter, especially as a seventh or eighth man off their bench. And even if he does go to a young team, at least you know at the end of the day, you're not overpaying for him, and he is a guy that can fit within damn near any system that that shooters fit. So to me, it's just about figuring out what he can do off the dribble, figuring out, can he be a mid-range guy, can he be a legitimate guy that can get to the basket and finish, and can he shoot the NBA three at 36 and above percent, so that way guys have to respect him and guys have to, pay attention to him. And if that does, his role can be even more better, because that's something that you have to respect, which means that's something that you don't want to give up. And if that's something that you want to give up, if he can have certain counters that can allow him to open up and expand his game and be able to do more offensively, which can increase his role. But if he's just going to be a catch and shoot guy and a guy that can be a deadly 3-point shooter, he still can be long term in this league and can still be a valuable asset, especially as a late first round and second round pick, which you still getting value out of that pick, because most of those guys don't become all-stars or superstars anyway. But at least you get something decent and something that can at least stay on your roster and be an impact player at worst, which is better than nothing, or better than a guy that don't want to come over, or better than a guy that don't even play in the league at all. So I still pick him up in that range, and I'd be happy if I'm a GM or a team or organization, I should say. Other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Like the video. If you like the video already, thanks for the love and support. If you haven't, please like and share. And if you like videos like this, I do discussions on rookies. I do discussions on any type of team, any player throughout the whole season. I try to make a video every single day for you guys, as you know. And if you haven't known that, if you love the game of basketball and you can't get enough of it, this is the channel for you, as I do videos like this, but also break down players of footage of players, rookies, and legends, while also giving you videos through free agency, trade deadline, NBA draft coverage, summer league coverage, season previews, and also, trade deadline and free agency. So this is the channel for you for basketball. Hopefully you guys love the video. And other than that, that's all I got to say about Tyrell Terry. Good looking. Thanks for watching. And subscribe if you love the content. And keep watching. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone. And I'll be coming to y'all with a video tomorrow.